What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I've been head down in Metaphor ReFantazio since it came out, and I can honestly say this is one of the best games I've ever played. Shout out to Atlus for providing a code for this game. I really appreciate it, and just want to start off by saying they really outdid themselves with this one. I haven't finished the game yet because I am taking my time with it, but I've put roughly 50 or so hours into it, and what I wanted to do here is not really give you a full review because at this point it's been out for a little while. Everyone knows this game is amazing, but I want to give my thoughts on where Metaphor fits into the lot of incredible JRPGs that come from Atlus. Now, this is a developer known for its mastery in creating character-driven, story-rich JRPGs that has long crafted games that blend traditional JRPG mechanics with deep themes and memorable characters and oftentimes really dark and controversial narratives. Two of its flagship series, Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, have not only left a definitive mark on the genre, but have also developed fiercely loyal fan bases, of which I am proudly part of, due to their unique approach to storytelling, moral complexity, and immersive worlds. Metaphor ReFantazio, Atlus's latest offering, represents an ambitious step that seems both familiar and revolutionary. Set in a fantastical world distinct from the urban setting of Persona or the mythological domains of SMT, Metaphor offers fans a fresh vision while still carrying out that Atlus core theme. By examining the aesthetic, the themes, and gameplay choices in Metaphor ReFantazio, we can better understand where it fits within the broader Atlus universe and how it builds upon the legacy of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. I mean, these are very high bars that they've set with these games, and these are some of the best JRPGs of all time, and they've spanned generations and generations with new releases that really kind of set an amazing example for what a great JRPG can be. Now, at its core, Metaphor ReFantazio pulls a bit from the mythological exploration found in SMT games and the more personal character-driven narratives that define Persona. But unlike Persona, which explores human psychology and the challenges of contemporary life through a more supernatural lens, Metaphor places its characters in a more explicitly fantastical setting, filled with creatures, castles, and a distinctly medieval aesthetic. This setting immediately connects it to SMT's mythological world building, in my opinion. I mean, I felt from the get-go that it pulled some of these world building aspects from the SMT games, and you will interact with beings inspired by deities and demons from various global mythologies. However, unlike SMT, Metaphor doesn't emphasize things like the apocalypse and the nature of good and evil to the same extent, but instead allows players to engage with the fantasy world on a personal level, blending character relationships reminiscent of the Persona series. This shared thematic DNA aligns Metaphor with Persona's exploration of personal growth, self-discovery, and the complex inner worlds of its characters. Just as Persona protagonists journey through worlds that reveal part of themselves, Metaphor's protagonists are immersed in a similarly personal adventure, albeit in a setting that feels far more epic in the fantasy realm. I mean, it almost feels like a fantasy novel at times, and it does feel significantly different than a modern-day drama that you kind of get from the Persona games. This duality, exploring larger-than-life settings and universal themes of human connection and self-identity, roots Metaphor firmly within Atlus's themes and their wheelhouse, even as it forges its own identity. And it's because of this, combined with the game's early success, that I think we may have another pillar on our hands and a game that could spin off multiple sequels. Atlus has developed a reputation for blending turn-based combat with innovative mechanics that elevate the player's strategic involvement. In SMT, combat often revolves around a press turn system where exploiting enemy weaknesses leads to additional actions, pushing players to strategize around elemental strengths and weaknesses. Now, in Persona, the addition of social links or confidants allows character relationships to enhance gameplay, rewarding players for building connections with team members and providing a more accessible, relationship-driven experience. Metaphor seems to inherit aspects of both systems, likely incorporating elemental and strategic combat mechanics that encourage players to exploit weaknesses and make tactical decisions. However, I would argue that Metaphor may go further, integrating a seamless fusion of battle and story progression that enhances the immersive qualities of the game's fantasy world. This approach echoes Persona and its more accessible systems, while likely embracing the challenge of SMT. Metaphor at times felt like Atlus's most difficult game, but as a full package, I feel that it's more of an ideal middle ground for new and experienced Atlus players. In addition, the customization options seen in Persona's Velvet Room and SMT's Demon Fusion system make an appearance in some ways in Metaphor, allowing you to create and customize characters in ways that shape their gameplay experience. Now, I won't get too deep into the job and class system. It seems to be very advanced at first glance, but it gets even more complex and customizable as the game progresses, and I absolutely love it. I think this is one of the best job systems in a JRPG, full stop, like of all time, not just in Atlus JRPGs, but in all of JRPGs. And this level of customization and strategic gameplay adds a level of depth, inviting those who appreciate both the user-friendly elements of Persona and the challenging systems of SMT, something that really can capture everything you want from both games. While Shin Megami Tensei often centers on broad themes of philosophy and morality and survival against divine or demonic forces, Persona takes a more intimate approach, dealing with the everyday challenges of high school life, relationships, and personal development. Metaphor combines these two approaches, creating a narrative that offers a grandiose high fantasy plot alongside deeply personal character arcs. This duality places it in an intriguing position, in my opinion, and it manages to carry the ambitious storytelling and grand world building of SMT while remaining accessible through character-driven narratives and personal relationship systems that define the Persona series. One distinct way that Metaphor sets itself apart from its predecessors is by shifting the typical urban setting of Persona to a fantasy realm filled with rich lore and all these like mythical creatures and situations you'll find yourself in. This shift not only opens up a new aesthetic, but also allows for a completely different kind of character interaction. Social links do still exist in some form, but they've been adapted to suit the customs and the beliefs and the conflicts unique to Metaphor's world. This creates relationship building that feels relevant to its fantasy setting. I mean, they do an amazing job of this. This could have easily been a phoned in Persona with a new coat of paint, but this is a completely different game that was built from the ground up around the ideas and themes that this game is formed around. This blending of Persona's personal storytelling within a grander narrative framework suggests that Metaphor really could be something new, a new pillar, like I said before, something that we could see multiple sequels of, and Atlus could look to establish a new benchmark for storytelling in Atlus games, where you might be drawn more into the character relationships or the fantasy world building. And there's just so many options and directions they can go with Metaphor in the future that I could really see this being just as successful, if not more so, than SMT or Persona for multiple generations to come. And with that, I want to talk about Atlus's vision for the future a little bit. Now, while Persona and SMT have each defined themselves with their unique storytelling, settings, and mechanics, Metaphor marks a bold attempt by Atlus to synthesize these qualities into a fresh and distinct experience. Its departure from the real-world settings of Persona into a lush fantasy world filled with magic and adventure represents a significant evolution of the company's storytelling. While the choice to blend approachable character-driven gameplay with the strategic depth that Atlus fans come to expect with all their JRPGs, Metaphor ReFantazio stands as a promising entry into Atlus's portfolio that manages the best aspects of its defining series while breaking new ground. For fans of Persona, Metaphor offers beloved intimacy of social links in a new setting, the whole calendar system, etc. It really feels very at home with Persona, while for SMT veterans, it introduces a world steeped in mystery and lore, echoing the mythological underpinnings of SMT with a fresh, accessible approach. This unique combination ensures that Metaphor can appeal to fans of both series, and perhaps even introduce Atlus's storytelling to a much broader, more eager audience to explore a new fantasy world. With all the success of Persona 5 Royal and Persona 3 Reload, Atlus has been put on the map. This is no longer a company making super niche JRPGs. I mean, if you're a fan of JRPGs, these are the staples. These are the games that people recommend that you play. And now we have a new series in the making with Metaphor ReFantazio, and it is absolutely amazing. In terms of my opinions at the 50-hour mark, I'm loving every minute of it. I am taking my sweet time with this game. I will probably spend 100 hours in this one. I am doing all the side quests, doing the extra stuff. I really am taking it all in and loving every minute of this game. I love the characters, I love the setting and the world building. I love the gameplay and the art style and the UIs. I mean, Atlus is on one with their UI design. I mean, no one does it better. Anyway, that's it for me in this one. Look out for another video once I finish the game, going over more spoiler territory. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Also, let me know in the comments below if you've been playing Metaphor. What do you think of the game? And does it really fit into the whole Persona SMT side of things? Do you prefer it to Persona or SMT? If you had to choose one of the three, let me know which one you're going for. I know that's a hard decision for me to make. So anyway, until next time, I'm out.